Hey everybody, this is Robert Catanese with the Chatham County Public Information Office, and I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to join us here on the chat. And today I have two guests. Well, actually, my co-host, Sean Evans, is with us, and our special guest today is Tara Jennings. She is the Strategic Planning Administrator for the county. Hey. How are you both?
Good, how are you?
We were just having some fun off camera. So you have a very, very important job here at the county, and we're going to kind of dig deep into that today. So first question, I'm kind of a simple man, as Leonard Skinner would say.
Okay.
And in simple terms, when we talk about the fiscal year 24 blueprint, in plain terms, what exactly is that, Tara, so the folks will know?
So in 2015, the Chatham County Board of Commissioners funded a community-wide strategic plan. And it was at that point in time, a 20-year plan was produced back to the board that said, here are the problems, concerns, gaps in our community that had data to identify those gaps. So it wasn't just people's feel good or opinions, it was truly quantified information. The board then took that information and determined of that what they had interest in funding and what they had interest in serving as a collaborative role. So not in every case are we the funder. In some cases, we're just a policy, maybe behind the initiatives. In some cases, we are the funder. And that's what the blueprint application process is an opportunity for us to fund those things that the community originally said was a problem. The board then determined was their priorities, and it's our opportunity to start fulfilling that. And in many cases, it's things that the county would not or does not have capacity to provide the service for, like indigent health care. We don't have a health care piece.
Right.
So we solicit those applications from external organizations that say, hey, I can do that on behalf of the county, and then the county funds that process.
And these are supplemental funds, right, Tara? It's not an entire budget for these entities that we're helping out, right?
No, the goal behind it is not that we want that the county funds need to be the only thing. We actually like when there are other funds that support the programs and the outcomes that we are interested in.
Well, and I want to talk about those, some examples of these non-mandated programming and initiatives that align with the Chatham County Blueprint. Can you give us some of those?
Yeah, so a couple of examples that we have, diversion programs from court. So court is a mandated service, but then we don't really want people to get in trouble with the judicial system. So diversion programs to keep them in the community, to provide them with wraparound services. We also do some youth development things, which are more preventive after school activities, maybe some child care. Subsidized child care, or maybe teacher training of some sort, which leads into the workforce development. So when there's an area of economic development or workforce gap, then we work with our partners to provide those services. Structured recreational activities are not a mandated service,
right.
But people maybe with Parkinson's need a specialized program. And so those are just some array of things that we've provided so far.
Do we see a lot of new entities emerging over, since 2015 when this came out?
Yeah, every year there's a few more new, innovative nonprofit organizations or initiatives that have come to our attention. In some cases, they're doing things a little bit differently, or maybe they're not aware of someone else in the community. So it has been enlightening to see some new, fresh ideas come to our plate, so to speak.
Kind of fun to see that front line of development in
Yes.
the community. Programs and initiatives are selected based on data-driven needs. You touched on that a little bit ago for the community. Can you explain, again, just what exactly that means and how folks can find that data?
Okay, so a data-driven need is something that is quantified. Like there is a data metrics that supports that. So we may say we're hungry, but then your stomach will growl. You will get weak, you might get lightheaded. Those are the things that dictate that, yes, you felt hungry. So in order to say we need subsidized childcare, we need to be able to identify, are people not making enough money? Is childcare too expensive? Are the hours not appropriate? So those are the type of data-driven things that we need to support, that rather than just being a feel-good, is there data that supports that? And then on the flip side of that, there are outcomes we're going to ask you to deliver and report back on. So if you say that you're going to improve someone's health, how are you doing that? Is it through their BMI? Is it through some pre and post test? If you're helping students with tutoring, we want to see report card differences. So it's not just the data before you get the award, but throughout the award process that is required.
All right, not just a blank check. You want to see results.
That's correct.
All right. Well, and Tara, I want to ask also, what makes for a successful applicant in this process?
Outcomes, outcomes, outcomes. So while there may be a perception that the county only funds the frozen chosen, those who have been working in this space for a long time, that is not accurate. However, trend data and data over years does help with the case. But ultimately, we want to know that people are being impacted. So we're not purchasing, personalities. We're not purchasing a feel good. We want to know, what is the product? How are people different because of the work that we are investing in?
Yeah. I do want to ask also here, just about wrapping it up, what kind of funds are available for this iteration of the Blueprint process, and how many programs and initiatives do you anticipate that'll support?
So currently, in FY23, we have 27 organizations or 27 programs that we fund, and they report on 194 different outcomes.
Wow.
So we only have about 5 million. So to be able to spread that and invest that appropriately is one of the more tricky processes of this. So we still have about 5 million. Whether that comes in and it's going to be the same or an array of different programs is yet to be determined. But based on our history since we've been doing it, we've helped about 20 to 25 organizations or programs per year. And the awards can range anywhere from 5,000. We have someone that actually has an award of 2 million. So it just depends on what the outcomes are.
And how their reach is in the community.
Yes.
Obviously, the more folks they can impact.
Yes, the investment. I mean, that's ultimately what we're looking for.
Tara, obviously it seems like the data that drives these needs within the community is really vital and crucial. And we're going to actually, if you're interested in obtaining or looking up some of that data, we're going to put a link at the end of the podcast that you can check out. And all you have to do is simply click on it, and all the data that's driving this initiative you can read for yourself. But to really put a bow on this, Tara, what do applicants who are watching this right now need to know about the registration process?
So the registration for this year's application process is fairly simple, at least from my perspective. You just go to the county website, FY24 Blueprint Implementation Grant Process, click that link, and then you have to create a profile within eCivis, which is a third-party vendor. The county does not operate that software, but it is a grant management software that allows us to be able to gather the information. Applicants need to have all of the required attachments before starting the process, like your business license, like your 501c3 registration. Anything like that will make it a little bit more efficient for you. But the instructions and the process are available on the website if anyone's looking.
And that window closes?
Applications are due to us by midnight of March 1.
March 1st
March
is the
1.
deadline.
Yes.
Anything that Sean and I missed, Tara, that you think is important that folks should know about prior to and up to March 1st?
No, I mean, I think, the board has done their diligence with looking at the community-wide blueprint, determining of that what they have interest in funding and what they want to see different in our community. And we just try to follow through with those desires of the board. But there is a review process, and it's not just one person or the board. It's a group of people that make these decisions.
All right, great. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's all about the data.
It is, data.
That's what drives it. For Sean Evans and Tara Jennings, I'm Robert Catanese. I want to thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on The Chat.